Mistake, no mistake. My name is Melanie Yates. Welcome back. I am so excited to share my pain, my strength, and my hope with you, especially using personal experience in the present moment. So, this is going to be good for both of us. I always think that by shedding light on the pain or the things that we want to keep a secret or hide or in the dark, by shining light on them, by speaking out about them, it actually is healing on both sides. It heals me, and I'm hoping that something I say is going to resonate and you will say, me too. Or I've felt like that before, or I'm currently feeling like that, or maybe it will be in the future. The words I say will be of comfort because life doesn't go my way most of the time. So here are the 5 truths about things not going my way. First, the brochure is a lie. Second, today's picture is a poor predictor. 3, waiting is working. 4, your job is important but small. Number 5, you are called to the war, not one battle. So I'm going to go through these. The most common thing for us as human beings is to judge and compare. It's not just a character defect. It's actually the way we're made up as humans to compare. So it's not the world and its people that make me crazy. It's the way my mind tells me the world and its people are. It's my perspective. And when we think about comparing ourselves, keeping up with the Jones, being envious or jealous of what someone else has and wanting that for ourselves, or just wanting that, wanting them to have it, but I want that too. The brochure is a lie. Facebook can be a lie, right? We look at Facebook, we look at people's vacations and where they're going to dinner, and that their husband gave them flowers on Valentine's Day, and how many presents they got for Christmas, and on and on and on. We see these posts and our mind is geared towards comparing and judging. And so the brochure is a lie. It's not real because you're only seeing one part of what that looks like. See, all of us have been raised with a picture of how life is supposed to be. You know, when I think of growing up, you know, we read these fairy tales and the princess and the handsome prince rescues her and is the provider and protector forever and happily ever after, right? We have this picture that is portrayed to us, and it tells us this is what your life is supposed to look like. The fairy tale is a lie, people. It's not real. And when we stop comparing ourselves to something that isn't real, we're going to be a lot happier. The second is today's picture is a poor predictor. So when I look at today and I look at where I want to be, I get confused because it actually makes me feel hopeless or overwhelmed when I look at everything that I have to do today and where I want to be in the future. And I think that when everything is going down the drain or I'm not getting what I want, I think that that is a predictor of how it's going to be in the future. So let's look at my week, my personal week that happened to me. So I found out that I had lost a bunch of money. Now, this money wasn't actually in my account. I know that money sometimes it can be considered, easy come, easy go, right? So this was money on paper that I thought I had. And then I found out I didn't have that money. And it was a substantial amount. It was, in a way, when I found out I had that money, it was like, that made me happy. And then you take it away, that makes me sad. And it's interesting because in this moment, in today's picture, it looks like I don't have, or I'm losing something that I want for my future. But the thing is, the way life works is that everything is always changing. And so I can't use today's picture as a predictor of the future. It could just be that moment because we're so used to instant gratification. We're so used to things happening quickly that it's harder to see things that are set in motion long before they look the way we want them to look or just the way they look. When I think of 5 years ago, if I could write a letter to myself 5 years ago and the way my life looked, the picture of that day 5 years ago is a poor predictor of where I am right now. It just is. And if we can believe that even in all the bad things that happen, that we perceive as bad, as we perceive as a mistake. So there are things in life that we will beat ourselves up over, that we will feel stupid about, that we will feel like, I cannot believe I made that mistake. I would have, should have, could have. And that's what happened to me about this money. It was like, I should have, would have, could have. And I was just beating myself up. I am so stupid. I made a mistake. I should have, would have, could have. Right? And if I can believe that life happens for me, I don't have to play the victim card, because it's so easy to look at a circumstance in the moment and feel like a victim or feel like it's not working. And yet, God, the universe, whatever you believe is in charge of the way life happens, sets the ball rolling way before it actually happens. There is a plan. I believe there's a plan for each of us. I believe there's a plan for me. I believe there's a plan for you. It is already set. And whether you believe that or not, ask yourself, does it feel better to believe that there's a plan and that everything happens together for my good? Because there's lots of ways to look at life. There's lots of ways to look through a pair of glasses, through a lens that makes you feel good or makes you feel hopeless and powerless and a victim. Guess what? Victims are not happy. Victims can't recover. And it's all about the way we look at it. So if I look at today as predicting my future and looking at it through a victim's lens, it's going to make us feel one way. If I look at today as working for me, and that all things work together for my good, and that the plan has been set in motion. If I can believe today's picture is a poor predictor of what my future is going to bring, I can create something else. We all know, I mean, we can all logically understand that if I play my victim card and I stay in self-pity, it would be so easy to stay in self-pity about money. And it would be so easy to try to manage and control and figure out how I could get that back, right? But if I believe that all things work together for my good and that this is part of the plan because it's happening, you know, Byron Katie wrote a great book, and it's about acceptance. Love what is, because it's happening. And to believe that what is part of the plan, and that it's the plan of goodness, it helps shift my perspective to maybe I could be grateful. Maybe I could practice acceptance. We just need a little open-mindedness to like let this come in, because it takes practice to learn how to accept. It takes practice to learn how to embrace something that we already have a picture in our minds that it has to be like. And that picture is a lie. So here I am being upset about something today doesn't look like this brochure that's a lie anyway. Open yourself to all things work together for good, because no mistake. More is going to be revealed. It's just we can't see it right now. We can't see it in the day that we're in. Number 3 is waiting is working. Waiting is working. Who wants to wait? None of us. We all have been raised in a society where now we can get information at our fingertips. Now we can get food anytime we want. We don't want to wait. We want things, just think about, when your internet is slow, or you get a drop call, or, your modem is just not working as fast as you want it. It's working, it's thinking, but it's like that waiting. There was even a case study that took 100 students and put them in a room and said, we're going to have you meditate for 6 to 15 minutes in silence, in quietness, right? And they interview them afterwards and how was that for you? Well, more than half were like, that was the most miserable experience ever. It gave them room to think that people don't like to be still. People don't like to be quiet. People don't like to wait, right? We're not used to meditation and taking time to be still and wait and be quiet, right? So they did round 2. Same thing. We're going to have you sit in this room 6 to 15 minutes, and we're going to give you this little buzzer that you can push, and it will give you electric shocks, painful electric shocks. So during the quiet time, 25% of women shocked themselves. 67% of men shocked themselves. Okay, so the point was that people would rather have pain, physical pain, than wait. Waiting is working. It's just uncomfortable for us. We don't want to wait. I have some amazing, beautiful, successful women that are single, and they don't want to wait on Mr. Right. And it's painful, and yet waiting is working. I don't want to wait for hard work to pay off. You know, when I've started a new exercise routine. I remember 2 years ago, I got a personal trainer because of COVID and our gym shut down, and I started working out, and I wanted, I think after a year, my brochure of Barbie in my body didn't happen. And so I remember waking up one morning and telling my husband, you know, my brain is telling me this doesn't work, and I don't want to lift weights anymore with you and the trainer. And my husband looked at me and said, that sounds like a lie. And it is a lie. But the thing is, it's the way, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. And I don't think waiting is working, but it does. Waiting does work. Waiting is working. We just have to be patient, which most of us don't want to do. We want the quick fix. Waiting is working. Waiting is actually doing something. Because I know my mind will tell me that waiting is being lazy. I have to work my way into action. I have to do something. But if I really believe that there is a plan and that God's in charge, a higher power is in charge, and that there's little I can do about anything, any circumstance that's going on. Waiting is working. Waiting is an action. So, number 4, your job is important but small. So sometimes we want to glamorize what we think we can do to change, control, manipulate, fix, you name it. We want to manage other people. We want to control other people. We want to control the outcome. We want to fix it, right? So my job is important but small. I can only do what I can do. And especially when it comes to other people. I don't know if you've ever tried to make somebody do something, even parenting. There comes a point where you have very little control over your children. Even when I think of a baby, how much control do you have over that baby crying or pooping at the wrong time or getting sick? You really don't. Your job is important but small, because in the big picture, the ball has been set in motion. The plan is happening. It's going on. And what we can do is important but small compared to what God can do, compared to what a whole group could do. but sometimes our ego says we're bigger than we actually are. And it's not to put ourselves down. Your job is important but small, especially when you think of something on a bigger level. Number 5, you are called to the war, but not one battle. So what I mean about that is that there is a war going on. The war of negativity, the war of gossip, the war of fear. There is opposition in life, and all of us are being called to serve. When I think of love one another, the law of opposition says there is forces and power that works directly against that. And so you are called to the war, meaning loving humanity. And the opposing force is going to try to stop us. Circumstances, character defects like being afraid, depression, anxiety. I even think of, a fear of making a mistake. Like, you're called to the war, and it's not one battle. When I think of overcoming your challenge, your struggle, your problems, you're being called to the war. And it's not going to be one battle. That means, we think, we have a win, and it's like, okay, I'm going to, I only have to do this once. It's not true. We keep getting called. And the other thing is, if where you are currently isn't matching up with where you want to be in that present moment, what circumstances can you be a part of? Because sometimes where we want to fight isn't where we are. And there's always going to be opportunity to be a part of something, to belong to something. Except I can get confused with, but I want to be over there, and I'm right here in this moment. So by uncovering this piece of there are no mistakes, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And these truths take practice to apply in our life. But I know for a fact that when I can be aware that all things work together for my good, there are no mistakes. I don't have to beat myself up over where I'm at right now. I don't have to beat you up. I don't have to blame you for where I am. I don't have to blame God or fate for where I am, because there are no mistakes. And this really is just a choice. It's a choice to believe, to accept, to embrace. Victims can't be happy. So I'm going to ask you, can you choose what card you're going to play? Are you going to play the victim card? Are you going to play the mistake card? Or are you going to choose fear? Are you going to choose faith? Because it's the way we look at it. And you have the ability to choose, even if it doesn't feel like it. I can't wait to hear your comments. I can't wait to hear how your problem in the moment, right now, today, can be applied in these truths. Mistake, no mistake. Can you see? Can you ask yourself right now, where is this struggle a mistake and where is it not a mistake? Let me know. Until I see you next time.